G'day friends and welcome to another one of my videos. Now today it's tutorial time. Yes, I know it's been a while since I've made one of these, but this one's specific to the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera. Now if you've got a setup like mine, but sometimes instead of recording content, you want to use the Blackmagic to stream on your WebEx or Zoom or whatever meetings. The color profile that's coming out of the camera is very flat and you kind of look like a black and white movie. So there is a way to fix that, and today's tutorial is all about correcting the color output for your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera using a LUT that we're going to create in this tutorial. So stick around. And welcome back. Now, the recipe for today's tutorial will require a few ingredients that you may need to prepare in advance in order for this to work nice and smoothly for you. So first of all, you will need your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera, obviously. Number two, you will need an SD card. Number three, you will need a PC or Mac with DaVinci Resolve loaded onto it and up and running to edit the video. And then secondly, and most importantly, you need something along the lines of this guy. Now, this is an X-Rite color checker passport. I bought this a while back. It's very handy. I made a video about it that no one's seen. They're very common. Anyway, no ill feelings. But the reason you need this is that it's going to make your color grading for your LUT very easy. Obviously, there's different variations of this, but this works directly with DaVinci Resolve, which is kind of awesome. You're going to see this and you're going to think, OMG, that is so cool. So those are the things you need to have ready in order for this tutorial to work. So let's dive into it. Oh my God, I promised myself I was never going to say that. Anyway, let's get the video rolling. Okay, step number one requires you to record some sample video in order for you to grade and then create the LUT once you've got the look and feel that you want from the video, right? Once you're sending it to your Zoom or WebEx or whatever. So this means that you have to prep your space first of all. So you got to get your lights right. So I've got my lighting already set up. So I've got a fill light that I've just turned off. And then I also have my, spotlight. So they're ready to go. So I'm pretty comfortable that this is the way I want my scene to look. So once it's all done, once you have everything like the way you feel from a lighting, aperture perspective, the way you have it normally, then you're ready to go. So it's just a matter of then sort of hitting the record button and then try putting this as flat as possible to get the right lighting from the screen, right? So I have done it. So I'm just going to hold nice and still, and this will make sense in a minute once we jump on the computer. And then that's it. So once you've recorded that, hit stop record, and then what we're going to do is use that file we just recorded in DaVinci Resolve for step two. Step number two requires us to jump onto our computer and fire up DaVinci Resolve to color grade the footage so we can create the LUT just the way that we like it. Now, the reason I use DaVinci Resolve is because I got a free copy when I purchased my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera, but at the same time, I think it's very intuitive software when it works hand in hand with the hardware. I'm actually enjoying learning how to use it. I'm still a novice, and so this is a very entry-level tutorial for those of you who want to know more. There are plenty of tutorials on how to do this by some more experienced people. So let's jump into the computer and see what the next step is. As you can see, I've already loaded the clip onto DaVinci Resolve. I've got it on the frame where I want to grade the color using my color checker. And this process is very, very cool. I'll take you through it step by step. So first of all, let's go to the color tab, which is at the bottom. and that brings up this particular screen. Now I've got it on full screen mode, but that's the way that it normally looks like. Now in full screen mode, I put it this way because we're going to need to zoom into this area here. So wherever the X-Rite color checker is. But before we do that step, have a look here. We've actually got the color matching application, which is, you'll find it right here. So right there, if you click on that, it brings up this particular window, which is controlled by this particular selector. Now I've got the legacy one. There are a couple of different X-Rite color checker and the color checker passports, and they are very, very cool, and you'll see why in a second. Now, the only thing I need to do here is actually correct my, I guess, lighting, because my lights run at 6600 Kelvin, and so that is what the right setting for that is. So you can do that yourself, or just leave it at 6500, which is just sunlight if you've got it set to default. And as you can see on this screen, it's very, very flat. It is what's coming out directly out of the Blackmagic without applying any LUTs. And the LUTs that are in the Blackmagic loaded by default tend to be a bit too cinematic for my liking. So I just want something that's going to be more office type of setup. So let's see how that works. Okay, next step. So let's go here to this little drop down, and I'll just show you here. And what I'm going to do is select this color chart. And what that does, it places this color chart, let's say template, on the screen. And the catch here is that I need to align this color chart template with my X-Rite on the screen. Now let me get the sizing just right, but then I'm just going to zoom in so we can actually see this a little bit better. And all I am doing is I am going for the corner check marks and make sure they're all aligned. The whole point of this is to have all those little boxes inside there align with the template, which is kind of easy to do. Now, once you've done that, the next step is very simple. Down the bottom here, you have a match button, and that is all we're going to press. And have a look at I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so you can see it. But here we go. Hit the match button. Voila. How easy was that? So that was the after. Let me show you the before and after. Before and the after. Isn't it amazing what a little piece of technology that does? Okay, so let's turn off the little frame, and now what we will do is go to the next step, which is how to save the LUT. Now, from a color grading perspective, there's so much more we can do. We can play with the contrast and the saturation, depending on how vibrant the colors that you have on your set are. But as long as you are happy with the end result, you can then go to this step, which is to create the LUT. And this is the file that we're going to import onto our Blackmagic camera in order for it to apply the look and feel that you're looking for when it comes to your Zoom or let's say Google Meet or even like WebEx, when you're sending the image from your Blackmagic to your computer. So let's switch over to the screen again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get out of full screen mode. And so what I've done here is it's brought back this particular toolbar. And to create the LUT, it's so simple. It's a matter of clicking on this scene and clicking on Control and click. So let me just zoom in there. So Control and click your mouse. Now, this is how you apply LUTs as well to each individual, let's say, timeline. But at the same time, this is what we came here for, which is to generate LUTs. Now, there are different options here. It all depends on the, I guess, quality of the video file, whether it's RAW, Blackmagic RAW, and all the other files. But the one that we need, or the one that I use for the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera, is the 33-point cube. Now, if you're doing more cinematic, very high grade type of editing, this is probably what you'll need, the 65, but the 33 is good enough for the Blackmagic and what I'm trying to do. So I've selected that, and now let me just zoom out so we can see what's going on. It's come up with a window to save this file. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to save it on my desktop just for transparency. But normally the default folder is the LUT folder for DaVinci Resolve. And I'm not going to do it there because I'm going to export this directly to my Blackmagic. So I'm going to give it a name. I'm still going to call it Office LUT Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. Okay, so it's very distinctive from anything else, and then I'll hit the save button. Now I am going to minimize my application, and what you're going to see here is that the latest version of this LUT is right here. Let's just zoom in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename it because I want it to be very nice and simple and recognizable. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to call it Office LUT. And I did say Office LUT and nothing else. So just in case you're wondering. All right. And that's it. So now I'm going to close this. We've got a new naming convention, and then we've got our file. So that's it, guys. How simple was that? So 3 easy steps. Get your equipment and your ambient right with the lighting. Then record that clip. Then import that clip into your DaVinci Resolve, which is step 2, and give it that nice color grade. Use your passport. It's going to make your life so much easier. And then the third step is to extract that LUT after you tweak it the way you want it. Play with the contrast, play with the saturation, get it the way that you just want it, and then save it to a file. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to load it into the Blackmagic. You can just do it either through the hard drive, through the USB-C port, or the SD card. It's got a very intuitive menu to load that LUT into the system. And then once you apply it, it will output it via the HDMI cable that goes into your capture card, or however you're getting your images onto your computer for your video streaming. Pretty easy, 3 easy steps. So hopefully you enjoyed this video and you find it useful. I'm sure you can do the same thing with other cameras that sort of do the sort of same thing. I may have investigated on how to do it on different other models in the future. But for now, I'm using the Blackmagic and I'm really enjoying it. It's such a handy multi-purpose device. So if you enjoyed the video, give me the like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, ciao for now.